What if the Incredible Hulk, Earth's mightiest hero, turned against the very people he swore to protect? In a world where his rage knows no bounds, he kills every hero in his path, leaving the Earth devastated. But it doesn't end there. After a shocking betrayal and an alien invasion, Hulk's journey takes an unimaginable turn, making him the herald of a cosmic destroyer. Prepare for a story of destruction, redemption, and the ultimate power. Hulk as you've never seen him before. The Incredible Hulk's unstoppable rampage. The Earth trembled as the Hulk's massive fist slammed into the ground, sending shockwaves through the city. In the distance, the Avengers headquarters was a beacon of hope, now shattered beyond recognition. He was no longer the hero that Earth had once known. This was the Hulk unleashed, a force of nature driven by grief and rage, and he was about to destroy everything in his path. The Illuminati had made their choice. They had sent him into space, hoping to rid the Earth of the uncontrollable monster that Bruce Banner had become. But their mistake was grave. Hulk had returned, stronger, angrier, and fueled by the loss of everything he had ever cared about. He stood in the ruins of New York, his chest heaving as he stared at the destruction he had caused. Buildings lay in rubble around him, the streets scorched and burning. He wasn't sure what he was looking for, answers, perhaps, or a way to make the pain go away. But there was no peace for him now, only chaos. "I'll make them pay," Hulk muttered under his breath, his voice guttural and raw. A flash of light caught his eye. From the shattered remains of the Avengers compound, a small team of heroes emerged. Spider-Man, Black Panther, and War Machine. The few remaining Avengers, standing as a last line of defense. "You've gone too far, Hulk," War Machine shouted, his voice firm but filled with concern. "You think you can stop me?" Hulk roared, turning his furious green gaze on the trio. "All of you dead. You're nothing but obstacles now." The heroes charged, weapons raised, but Hulk was too fast. He swung his massive fist, sending War Machine crashing into the side of a building. Black Panther lunged at him, claws extended, but the Hulk grabbed him mid-air and hurled him across the city like a ragdoll. Spider-Man, ever the optimist, swung in with all his might, but even his agility couldn't match Hulk's raw power. With a swipe, Spider-Man was sent tumbling, his webbing splintering as he collided with the concrete. "Why?" Black Panther gasped, struggling to get up from the rubble. "Why destroy us, Hulk?" "You all failed me," Hulk growled, pacing back and forth like a caged animal. "The world failed me." The Avengers, the heroes who had once been his allies, were now nothing but pawns in a game of revenge. In his mind, they had abandoned him, cast him aside when he was most vulnerable. And now, Earth would pay the price. Hulk could hear the sirens in the distance, police, military, but it didn't matter. Nothing could stop him now. He had already crushed every resistance that had come before. He was invincible. But as he stood atop the wreckage, his heart began to ache. A memory flickered in his mind, his wife, his unborn child, lost in an explosion that had been caused by the very people who had sent him into exile. They had stolen everything from him. This wasn't just rage. It was pain. And no amount of destruction would ever bring back what he had lost. "You won't stop me." "You can't," Hulk said quietly to the fallen heroes, his voice softer now, a reflection of the inner conflict raging within him. Suddenly, a flash of light streaked across the sky. It wasn't a star or an aircraft. It was a massive ship descending fast. The Silver Surfer. He landed gracefully on the broken streets, his cosmic board cutting through the air like a silver comet. "Hulk," Silver Surfer said, his voice calm but with an air of finality, "it's over. The Earth is already lost." Hulk's eyes narrowed, the anger flaring once again. "What do you want, Surfer? I've already lost everything. There's nothing left to save." "The Skrulls have invaded," Silver Surfer explained, stepping forward with his cosmic aura glowing. "They've already begun their invasion, and it's only a matter of time before they overtake this world completely." "The Skrulls," Hulk echoed, his fists tightening. He had heard of them, the shape-shifting aliens who had come to Earth in secret. And now they had come for the survivors. "I can help you stop them," Silver Surfer said, his tone earnest. "But you need to fight alongside the remaining heroes. The Earth needs you." Hulk's eyes flickered with a mix of rage and doubt. His past actions had sealed Earth's fate. Could he ever make things right? "No," Hulk growled, shaking his head violently. "I'll destroy it all. If I can't have this world, no one will." Before Silver Surfer could respond, Hulk leaped into the air, crashing through the buildings and sending shockwaves through the city. He was done listening to reason. He was done playing the hero. Now, he would be the force that brought the world to its knees. Silver Surfer watched helplessly as Hulk tore through the city, every strike annihilating whatever stood in his path. But in his heart, Silver Surfer knew that Hulk's rage was only a symptom of something deeper, something tragic. The Hulk wasn't just fighting against the world. He was fighting against himself. But the universe didn't have time for self-reflection. The Skrulls were coming, and they were coming fast. The last stand against the Skrulls. The streets were nothing but a war zone as Hulk rampaged through the city, his roar echoing off the shattered buildings. He was the end of everything, an unstoppable force of nature, now turned against the very planet he once called home. His every step sent shockwaves through the broken streets. His anger? Boundless. His power? Infinite. Behind him, Silver Surfer hovered above, watching with a look of helplessness. He could have stopped Hulk with a single command, but this wasn't a battle of strength. This was a battle of hearts, and the Hulk's heart was broken. Nothing would bring it back. Nothing could undo the pain of loss. The Skrulls were coming, their invasion imminent, and Hulk was in no mood to care. His fists crashed down into the streets, creating craters large enough to swallow entire buildings. He was furious, but more than that, he was tired. Tired of being betrayed. Tired of fighting for a world that had abandoned him. "You don't understand, Surfer," Hulk shouted as he destroyed another skyscraper. "This world doesn't deserve saving. They destroyed me. I'll take it all down." Silver Surfer hesitated, his cosmic aura flickering. He knew the Hulk's rage was more than just physical. It was born from a place of deep sorrow. But the universe couldn't wait for Hulk to heal. The Skrulls had already begun their assault, and Earth was on the brink of collapse. "They'll wipe out the last of humanity if you don't stop them." Silver Surfer called after him, trying to get through. But Hulk didn't want to hear it. "I don't care," Hulk screamed, launching himself into the air with a terrifying roar. He soared through the sky, a missile of green fury, heading straight for the center of the city. Every step he took, the earth shook beneath him, his fury a force of nature. But even as Hulk smashed everything in sight, a part of him knew what was coming. He wasn't the hero anymore. He had crossed a line, one that he couldn't return from. The Earth was doomed, and it was his doing. As Hulk made his way through the wreckage, he saw them. The Skrulls. They were already landing, shape-shifting, blending in with the destroyed city, crawling from the shadows like insects. Their Queen Spider-Woman led the charge. She was ruthless, calculating, her eyes glowing with cold intent. She'd been biding her time for this moment, waiting for the right time to strike. "Hulk," she called, her voice a melodic hiss. "I see you've made quite a mess of things." Hulk turned, his fists still clenched. "This world is mine to destroy." "You're a fool," Spider-Woman said with a twisted smile. "You've destroyed your friends, your family, and now you'll destroy yourself." She gestured, and a wave of Skrulls surged forward, surrounding Hulk. But Hulk wasn't afraid. He was beyond fear. He was a beast, fueled by rage, by vengeance. And he would tear through them all. With a violent yell, Hulk slammed his fist into the ground, sending shockwaves through the Skrulls that sent them flying in every direction. But they were relentless. They kept coming, more and more of them. The air was filled with the sound of Skrulls transforming, their eerie alien voices rising as they shifted into new forms. "They keep coming, Hulk," Silver Surfer shouted, landing beside him. "You're not alone in this fight. You never were." For the first time, Hulk faltered. His anger flashed, but beneath it, there was a flicker of something else, something he hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. He turned towards Silver Surfer. "Help me stop them," he growled, his voice raw with emotion. Silver Surfer nodded. "Let's end this." Together, they fought. Hulk tore through the Skrulls with his massive fists, his rage knowing no limits. Silver Surfer blasted them with cosmic energy, his surfboard slicing through the air with precision. But the Skrulls were endless. More and more arrived, transforming into beings that Hulk couldn't even begin to comprehend. The battle raged for hours, the cityscape reduced to rubble around them. It was a fight for survival. But despite all their efforts, the Skrulls were gaining ground. Spider-Woman, standing at the back of the invasion force, gave orders, her voice cold and detached. And then, in the chaos, a new force arrived. A massive, hulking figure landed behind the Skrulls. It was another Hulk. No, not the same one. This was a clone, one that had been created during the Planet Hulk saga. A version of Hulk made to destroy. He was the World Breaker, the ultimate weapon. And now he was here. The clone roared, a deafening sound that drowned out everything else. His eyes were filled with madness, an uncontrollable rage that mirrored the original Hulk's. The two titans collided, their strength shaking the very foundation of the earth. "Hulk, stop!" Silver Surfer called, trying to intervene, but there was no stopping the madness now. The battle between the two Hulks was beyond anything Silver Surfer had ever witnessed. Their strength, their fury. It was a force of nature, a cataclysmic event that was already wiping out the remaining Skrulls in their path. But the clone, the World Breaker, wasn't done. He picked up Hulk by the legs and slammed him into the ground with the force of a meteor. The impact cracked the earth, sending a shockwave that destroyed what was left of the city. Silver Surfer rushed to Hulk's side. "We can't let him do this. Hulk, listen to me. You have to fight back." But Hulk was weakened. His clone was too strong. And for the first time, Hulk felt something he hadn't in years. Doubt. Spider-Woman watched from the shadows, a sinister smile on her face. This was the moment she'd been waiting for. With the two Hulks tearing each other apart, she made her move. She reached into the heart of the chaos and activated a hidden device, a signal that would bring reinforcements. More Skrulls began to land, their numbers overwhelming. Even Silver Surfer couldn't hold them off. Hulk and his clone continued to battle, but they were losing. The Skrulls were winning. And as the dust settled, the two Hulks stood face to face, their bodies battered and broken. But the clone's eyes flashed with something different, something cold. "I will destroy you, Hulk," he snarled. Hulk took a deep breath, looking at the clone. He knew the fight wasn't over, but if this was the last battle for Earth, he would give everything to stop it. The endgame approaches. The city was crumbling. It felt like the entire world was in freefall, and at the center of it all stood Hulk, his massive form battered but unyielding. The battle with his clone, the World Breaker, had reached a devastating climax. The two Hulks, locked in an unstoppable dance of destruction, created shockwaves that rattled the very earth beneath them. Skrulls poured from every corner of the city. Silver Surfer, alongside the remaining heroes, fought valiantly, but the invasion was relentless. The Skrulls had infiltrated Earth's defenses, and now, with Hulk and his clone tearing through the battlefield, they saw their opportunity to strike. "You can't win this," Spider-Woman shouted from the sidelines, watching as the battle unfolded with cruel satisfaction in her eyes. "This planet will fall, just as it was always meant to." But Hulk wasn't listening. He could barely hear her over the sound of his own fury. With a guttural roar, Hulk pushed the World Breaker clone away, sending him crashing into a nearby building. The ground split open beneath him as Hulk stomped forward, his vision clouded with rage. His only thought now was vengeance. The Skrulls had already taken everything from him, his family, his hope, and now, even his identity as a hero. There was nothing left to lose. "Enough," Hulk bellowed. "I'll end this. Now." But even as he spoke, his clone rose from the wreckage, bloodied but still very much alive. The World Breaker clone's eyes glowed with a dangerous intensity, a malicious grin spreading across his face. "You can't stop me, Hulk. You're the same as me," the clone sneered, his voice dripping with venom. "Weak, broken, just like the planet you've sworn to protect. Hulk's muscles tensed, his body shaking with pure fury. His world had been shattered, and this clone, this twisted version of himself, was just another reminder of everything he had lost. But something shifted in his chest. A memory, a flicker of something pure. His wife, his unborn child, his promise to them. No, this wasn't the end. The Worldbreaker clone lunged at him again, but Hulk was ready this time. He met the clone head-on, fists flying with devastating speed. The two titans clashed in an explosion of power that sent shockwaves rippling across the battlefield. Every punch shook the ground. Every blow carried the weight of a broken soul. Meanwhile, Silver Surfer fought on against the Skrulls. Despite his cosmic power, even he was struggling to hold the line. The Skrulls' numbers were overwhelming, and Earth's heroes, already battered, could only do so much. "Hulk, you need to finish this," Silver Surfer shouted, soaring through the air to intercept another wave of Skrulls. "The invasion is spreading too fast. We can't hold them off forever." But Hulk's focus was consumed by the fight with his clone. The Skrulls were an afterthought, just another threat to annihilate. Yet, even as he fought for survival, a realization began to settle in his mind. His battle with the Worldbreaker wasn't just about strength. It was about redemption. He couldn't keep running, couldn't keep destroying. The clone's fist collided with Hulk's chest, sending him sprawling backward. For a moment, everything seemed to freeze. Hulk, gasping for breath, stared at the clone standing over him. The clone's grin was wide, his victory already in sight. "You're done, Hulk," the clone taunted, raising his fist for the killing blow. "This planet is mine now." But before the clone could strike, a blast of cosmic energy hit him from the side, sending him crashing into the ruins of an old skyscraper. Silver Surfer hovered above, his aura blazing. "Not while I'm still here," he said through gritted teeth. For the first time, Hulk turned his gaze from the clone and toward Silver Surfer. His mind was still clouded with rage, but a flicker of understanding broke through. "I can't let you destroy it all," Silver Surfer said, his voice steady but with an undeniable edge of urgency. "The Skrulls will take over Earth if you don't stop fighting each other. You need to focus." Hulk's eyes narrowed, his fist still clenched. "I don't have a choice. If I stop, everything dies. Everything I ever cared about." Silver Surfer's expression softened. "I get it. But you can't save the world by destroying it. You have to fight, but for the right reasons." Hulk hesitated. His heart was torn between the rage that had consumed him for so long and the part of him that still remembered what it meant to be a hero. The clone, standing slowly, turned to face him again. "You're weak, Hulk," the clone hissed. "You'll never win." The words stung, but they also rang with truth. Hulk had spent his entire life fighting battles that had made him stronger, yes, but had left him hollow. If he kept fighting like this, there would be no world left to save. Hulk's fist slowly unclenched. He turned to Silver Surfer. "You're right. I've fought enough." With a final earth-shattering punch, Hulk blasted the Worldbreaker clone away, sending him into the sky like a rocket. The clone disappeared into the distance, his fate uncertain. The battlefield was silent. For a moment, nothing moved. Then, a new sound broke the silence. The Skrulls. They were still there, still advancing, and now, with Hulk weakened, they had the upper hand. But Hulk wasn't done. Not yet. The ground beneath him trembled as he began to move forward, a new fire burning in his eyes. "I'm not finished," Hulk muttered, his voice low but full of purpose. "Not yet." With Silver Surfer at his side, the two began their charge, cutting through the ranks of Skrulls with unrelenting force. Hulk fought with the fury of a man who had nothing left to lose, but everything to gain. The Skrulls would fall. And for the first time in a long while, Hulk wasn't just fighting for himself. He was fighting for Earth, for redemption. The final betrayal. The battle raged on, chaos erupting as the Hulk and Silver Surfer fought side by side, tearing through the Skrull ranks, with a fury unmatched by anything Earth had ever seen. The ground beneath them cracked, buildings crumbled, and the sky above seemed to pulse with the energy of a dying world. Every step Hulk took felt like an earthquake, his every punch sending shockwaves through the streets. Silver Surfer's cosmic energy cut through the air, blasting Skrulls into oblivion, his board carving swathes of destruction through their ranks. Together, they were unstoppable. But the Skrulls' numbers were overwhelming, and their infiltration of Earth's most powerful heroes had left the planet vulnerable. Despite their best efforts, the tide was turning in the Skrulls' favor. "Keep pushing, Hulk," Silver Surfer shouted, his voice barely audible over the explosions and the sounds of battle. "We're almost there." But even as Hulk smashed through another wave of Skrulls, a cold feeling washed over him. Something was wrong. His mind, still clouded with rage, started to clear, and in the midst of the chaos, he realized that there was something deeper at play. The Skrulls were just pawns in a much larger game, and the true threat was still waiting in the shadows. Before Hulk could react, the ground beneath them trembled again, this time not from their destruction, but from something far more menacing. Out of the smoke and debris, a figure emerged. It was Spider-Woman, her eyes glowing with an eerie green light. But there was something different about her now. Her form flickered for a split second, revealing the monstrous truth: she was a Skrull. "You think you can win this?" Spider-Woman sneered, her voice dripping with venom. "You've been nothing but distractions. Now, the real invasion begins." Hulk froze, his mind scrambling to process the betrayal. Spider-Woman had been among the last surviving heroes, one of the few he trusted. To learn that she was a Skrull agent all along felt like a gut punch, a blow to the very core of everything he had fought for. You were never one of us," Hulk growled, his voice low, barely controlled. The rage was bubbling to the surface once again, but this time it was different. It wasn't just directed at the Skrulls. It was personal. Spider-Woman's grin widened. "I'm a spy. I've been here from the start, infiltrating your ranks, setting the stage for the invasion. You were always just a pawn in our plan." The revelation hit Hulk like a freight train. His mind flashed back to every battle, every fight, every alliance he'd ever made. Had they all been lies? Had he been manipulated from the beginning? "We're not done yet," Silver Surfer said, his voice urgent, his cosmic energy swirling around him. "Hulk, we need to keep pushing. If we don't stop them now, it's over." But Hulk wasn't listening. His mind was consumed with one thought: betrayal. All this time, he had trusted these heroes, fought alongside them, only to learn that one of them had been working for the enemy all along. Silver Surfer could see the conflict in Hulk's eyes. He knew the battle wasn't just physical anymore. It was psychological. Hulk's greatest enemy was no longer the Skrulls. It was the doubt creeping into his heart. Could he ever trust anyone again? Was the world even worth saving? "I'm done," Hulk muttered to himself, his fists tightening. "They all betrayed me. I won't fight for a world that hates me." With a sudden roar, Hulk launched himself at Spider-Woman, his massive fist slamming into the ground where she stood. The impact shattered the pavement, sending a shockwave through the city. But Spider-Woman was fast. She dodged, morphing into another Skrull form, her eyes glinting with malicious intent. "I'm not done yet, Hulk," she taunted, her voice now distorted, an unnatural screech. "You're too late. We've already won. The invasion has begun." Before Hulk could respond, a pulse of green energy shot through the air. Silver Surfer, exhausted but determined, fired a blast at Spider-Woman, hitting her square in the chest. The Skrull screeched in pain but quickly recovered, her form shifting into something even more terrifying, a towering alien monster, a hybrid of Skrull and something else. Hulk's rage surged again. This time, it wasn't just about the betrayal. It wasn't just about the Skrulls. It was about everything he had lost, the heroes, the world, his own humanity. He couldn't stop now. There was only one way forward. With a primal scream, Hulk charged at the alien monstrosity, his fists pounding into its massive form, his strength unimaginable. The creature roared in fury, swiping at him with claws that could tear through steel. But Hulk wasn't backing down. He had to finish this. For Earth. For everything he had lost. Silver Surfer joined the fight, blasting the creature with waves of cosmic energy, But the monster was relentless. It absorbed every blow, growing stronger with each attack. Together, Silver Surfer shouted, rallying Hulk for one final push. Hulk nodded, his fury reaching its peak. With one final bone-crushing punch, Hulk shattered the creature's chest, sending it crumbling to the ground in a heap of debris. But the battle was far from over. Spider-Woman, now fully revealed as the Skrull Queen, stood tall, watching the destruction unfold. "You may have defeated me, Hulk," she hissed, "but you can never defeat what's coming next." In that moment, Hulk felt it. The weight of the world. The responsibility. And for the first time in a long time, he realized that there was still something worth fighting for. Not just Earth. Not just revenge. But redemption. The Skrulls were far from defeated. The invasion had only just begun. The final sacrifice. Hulk and Silver Surfer fought with every ounce of strength they had left. The Skrull army was vast, but they were relentless. With every blast of cosmic energy, Silver Surfer pushed forward, creating a path for Hulk to continue his charge toward the heart of the Skrull invasion. The massive hulk of a creature that had previously clashed with Hulk lay motionless on the ground. But more were coming. There was no end to the tide of Skrulls, no relief in sight. And now, the countdown to Earth's destruction had begun. "We have to get to the heart of their operation," Silver Surfer called, his voice urgent. "If we don't destroy the command center, this planet's doomed." Hulk nodded grimly, his fists still crackling with power. His body was battered, his green skin bruised and covered in the dust of battle. But there was no turning back. The weight of the world rested on his shoulders. It wasn't just about his rage anymore. It was about saving what little was left of Earth. As they made their way through the chaos, the ground beneath them trembled again. The Skrulls had activated their final weapon, a massive orbital laser that would decimate the entire planet. From the distance, the glow of the weapon in the sky was impossible to ignore. It was a ticking time bomb, and time was running out. "I can't hold them off much longer," Silver Surfer said, his cosmic energy flickering. "There's too many of them." But Hulk didn't stop. His eyes locked onto the glowing command center, visible in the distance, a massive structure, surrounded by a dome of Skrull energy shields. His mind focused. He couldn't let this go on. Not anymore. Hulk turned to Silver Surfer, his voice steady but full of resolve. "I'll make sure they pay for this. You get the others to safety. I'll finish this." "No," Silver Surfer replied, his voice shaking with urgency. "You don't have to do this alone. We can do this together." Hulk looked back at him, his face a mask of determination. "This is my fight. I'm the one who's destroyed everything. I'll be the one to stop it." Without another word, Hulk charged toward the Skrull command center. With every step, the ground cracked beneath him, his fury leaving a trail of devastation in his wake. Skrulls moved to intercept him, but Hulk crushed them underfoot without breaking stride. The massive shield protecting the command center shimmered in front of him, but Hulk wasn't stopping. He leaped forward, his fist slamming into the barrier. The impact sent a shockwave through the battlefield, and for a brief moment, everything went silent. Then, with a roar of fury, Hulk's hands glowed green as his rage reached its peak. He pounded the shield with a force that could split mountains. The barrier trembled under the onslaught, but it held. "Hulk smash!" he bellowed, his voice shaking the very air around him. And then, in a final burst of power, Hulk punched through the energy shield. The command center was within his grasp. He stormed through the broken barrier, tearing through the remaining Skrull defenses with unrelenting power. Inside, the Skrull Queen Spider-Woman in disguise stood waiting, her eyes glowing with malevolent glee. "You're too late," she hissed, her voice cruel and triumphant. "The weapon is already locked in. Earth will fall, and you'll be nothing but a memory." Hulk's eyes narrowed. There was no fear in him, only anger, and a relentless drive to protect the planet, even if it cost him his life. "I'm done with the lies," Hulk said, his voice cold. "You took everything from me. Now I'm taking it back." He moved toward the weapon, his massive hands reaching for the controls. The Skrull Queen lunged at him, but Hulk swatted her aside like a rag doll. The time for words was over. With a final, powerful blow, Hulk smashed the core of the weapon. Sparks flew. The energy field collapsed. The countdown stopped. The Skrull Queen, battered and defeated, tried to flee, but it was too late. The weapon was destroyed. Earth had been saved. But as Hulk turned to leave, the ground trembled beneath him. The Skrull Queen's last words echoed in his ears. "You may have stopped us, Hulk, but the damage is already done. There is no saving this world." Hulk's eyes filled with regret. He had fought and won, but in doing so, had destroyed so much of the world he once swore to protect. The battle was over, but the cost was high. With Silver Surfer and the remaining survivors at his side, Hulk stood in the ruined city, the weight of everything on his shoulders. But in that moment, he realized something. It wasn't about redemption. It wasn't about fixing the past. It was about protecting what was left. And in that there was still hope. The end.